So, if we can have you introducing yourself and also the position that you are holding in the faculty.
Hi, my name is Nadia Mahmoud, and I am the current Dean of the Faculty of Creative Multimedia in MMU.
Okay, if you can share the programs offered by the Faculty of Creative Multimedia and how is it wow compared to the other institutions?
So, in the Faculty of Creative Multimedia, we have a bunch of programs that are tailored for all levels: foundation, diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate degrees. So, in all our programs in the entire faculty, we like to focus on the synergy between art, design, and technology. So, if you look at all our programs, undergraduate, postgraduate, even foundation level, and diploma level, we cover all aspects of the creative multimedia industry. So you're looking at 3D, advertising, production, immersive design. So all these things actually make up a big aspect of what we do within the faculty. And what we're very proud in the Faculty of Creative Multimedia is we've been around for about 25 years. So in the local industry, within the country itself, we have actually been the first ones who actually established the creative industries within the country.
Okay, if you can share the industry relations you have in the Faculty of Creative Multimedia.
So when it comes to industry relations, we're looking at a combination of between the academic staff, but also with our alumni as well as our industry. So our academic staff is actually comprised of not just pure academicians. Our academic staff are actually academic staff that have industry experience. So you're looking at filmmakers, music producers, VFX supervisors, comic artists, even new media artists and curators. So with an academic background that has industry experience, we can easily communicate and collaborate with our industry partners, which we've done many various industry activities with them. So our activities with the industry, they fall into many categories. We do MOUs, for instance, with Philomen, who's also an alumni of the faculty. We've also done industry talks almost every year. Most recently, last year, we did with Hans Isaac on the film industry and heritage of Malaysia. We also had talks with EA Codemasters last year as well to share with our students about what are the expectations when you go out and you learn and you study and you work in the industry, what is expected from you from the industry as well. Not only that, our students are also, we have this practice in the faculty where our students in their final year project, they actually get evaluated by industry panels. So the most recent one, which is last week itself, our animation FYP project was actually evaluated by Larian Studios. Outside of that, we also do industry project collaborations. So with our VR programs last year, we actually helped them produce a immersive VR AR app for learning French called Mission Maison. Excuse my French. All right. And with the animation as well as the media arts team, we actually worked together with JPA to actually create digital backgrounds for the Sengkela Perak Istana Budaya Theater production. So for us, working with our industry, it's something that we are very proud of, and we do it all the time. It's part of our collaboration. It's part of our genetics, I guess, for the Faculty of Creative Multimedia.
Okay, if you could share the alumni, notable ones, and I'm sure you have many, but the notable ones that you would like to highlight.
So in our entire 25 years, we've produced many, many graduates. And if you look at the name of our programs, we have always revamped. So a lot of our programs, a lot of our alumni from our programs, starting from indie filmmakers like Tan Chui Moy, who did recently just won an award last year as well, I think. Gaz Abu Bakar, who's also a filmmaker. So these two were from the film and animation graduate all the way back in about 2001, if I'm not mistaken. But we also have graduates who go into other industries. For instance, like Vijay Anand, who was from our digital media program. I think he graduated 2002. I'm sorry, Vijay, if I got it wrong. So he's now the regional creative director of Packed Media, if I'm not mistaken. Again, sorry if I got it wrong. We also have, again, our animation graduates, which are very popular. Our most well-known one is Nizam Raza, who has established Bobo Boy as well as Mekamoto, and his classmate Usama Zaid, who also did Agent Ali. Um, Outside of what you would call the traditional creative multimedia industries, we also have Faris Hanafia of Filament and as well as Mojo Fixer, which I said just now that we just signed an MOU with. So with Filament, they are concentrated on things like immersive media, projection mapping. So they are at the forefront of new media technologies.
Okay. Now, if you can share career prospect.
So when it comes to the career prospects of FCM, the simplest thing is creative content designer. So when you have creative content designer or creative content producer, that's a simple big umbrella. But that path goes into many, many different industries within the country as well as regionally and globally. So when you're talking about creative content, you have UI UX designer, projection mapping artist, 3D modelers, 3D animators, 2D animators, concept artists, layout artists, website designers, graphic designers, illustrators, photographers. You take your pick. If it falls under art, design, technology, creative content, the path is open for you. You can go anywhere you choose as long as you put in the effort to do it.
Okay, now the last one is the Dean Says segment, which is basically the pitch of the Dean to prospective students.
I'm going to adapt a quote from Dead Poet Society. It's Robin Williams' quote. So, engineering, medicine, and law, they are necessary things that help us live. But art, design, creative media are things that allow us to make life worth actually living. So enroll in FCM and be the person that you want to be.
Many people say that kalau nak masuk art and design, you would have to know how to draw. Kalau you tak pandai melukis, you shouldn't or could not make it in the creative industry. So what would you say to that?
I think it's actually a misconception. We like to tell prospective students, as long as you know how to hold a pencil, you should be able to draw. But even then, drawing skills is actually not the main thing that actually helps you in FCM or art and design itself. The most important skill, but also the hardest one to master, is actually applied observation skills. If you can learn how to macam tengok a shape, you can notice colors, you can see the value between spaces, you know how these things are, and you can apply it. That is what makes a good FCM student. It's not your drawing skills, it's your observation skills. And it's the easiest, tapi also the hardest one to do.
Okay, now I'm not sure whether it's easy lah to me to do FCM. So, okay, between when you finish your FPM and now you have to decide where to pursue, whether you want to do IT or creative multimedia, because it's like macam borderline. Macam
Yes.
at the end to technology, you still use the computer. I can still do game design development in computer science. I can also do game design and development in creative multimedia. So how would one decide the
Path.
more relevant, more accurate? How do you know you belong to creative multimedia?
Okay, so for me, I like to make an example. When you're thinking about IT, it's very close because art, design, and technology, they are always intertwined within one another. So when you're talking about IT, you're talking about the back end of things, how things are done behind the scenes. Art design is about how do we use technology or whatever the IT guys produces, how do we actually use that to communicate with people. So it's always the connection between us and other people. It's not between us and a machine, it's how we use a machine to talk to other people, how you communicate with other people. So that can be done visually, audio, tactile as well. But FCM is about, and design itself is about, it's about knowing how the human mind works and how we actually communicate with each other through various mediums.
Okay, so basically, if you feel that you are closer to the machine, then computer science.
Maybe.
If you are closer to the human, then creative multimedia.
Yes.
If you
So
will have
yeah. So I think if you like telling
decide.
stories, if you like telling stories, if you like communicating, drawing, illustrating, they're all forms of communication, but visual communication stuff. How do you actually get people to buy into your ideas and stuff like that? IT guys, if you like your numbers, and there's nothing wrong with numbers. We still use numbers in FCM, but if you really like the hard cold areas of IT, then
Hard code or hard coal?
Hardcore. Hardcore.
Cold. Hardcore.
Cold and hardcore.
Not cold hearted at the core.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now the last question. You are the dean
Yes.
and you are very young.
I'm not as young as you think.
Okay, but in general, the Faculty of Creative Multimedia Dean's Office is
Yes.
made of very young academic staff and
Yes.
practitioners.
Yes.
How would you convince, or people would definitely say, mudanya, can they really become lecturers and lead, so on and so forth? How would you explain that?
If you look at the creative industry itself, it is a young industry. So by hook or by crook, you're going to get young leaders. And leaders are not made by your age. It's made by the things that you've done for the faculty. It's made by the things that you do for your students as well. So age is, again, just a number.
Okay.
So I think we've had enough experience, especially from my dean's office. Not only are we young, we're all women as well.
Wow.
So I'm
happy.
really I'm gonna push that. We're an all women dean's office, and we're very proud of that fact. And we've balanced it with experience, which we gained not because of our age, but of the things that we do. So you can apologize. You can be a bit more older, but if you haven't explored much, or if you haven't done much, that means you haven't experienced much either, and that doesn't make you a good leader as well.
Okay. So on the other side, would someone in the teaching field of this faculty would be obsolete?
Obsolete only if you do not choose to update yourself, because learning and teaching, it's always, it's a cycle. You always have to update yourself, and within our faculty as well, we always tell our staff, no matter what, you have to always upskill, because technology is fast, and if you don't keep up, you will be left behind. So we do our best to actually share with our experienced staff in terms of age, what are the technologies that are coming up, how we can actually gain from it, and what do we learn from it, so they also consistently and constantly upskill themselves as well. So we don't let our staff stay within their comfort zone. We always try to push them to be better, to follow the trends of technology, because if you don't do that, you're going to fall behind, and the creative industry is always going to be following with the technology as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Nadia.
Thank you.